Welcome to a Cincy fan talking with LP, and of course, this is yours truly, LP. What's up, folks? Thank you. Appreciate you. It's a lot of clapping. We truly appreciate all the manufactured applause. Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. Hey man, what's up? This is LP. You with a Cincy fan talking, and of course, this is yours truly, LP. It's Christmas Eve out here. Um, Out here just chilling, loving life. You know how it go. Always one of the best times of the year in this house. Kids running around doing goofy, silly, crazy stuff. Um, it's awesome. It's also a difficult time, heartache, heartbreak around here. And I mean, as I discussed on the last pod, it's one of those. We realize in this house that this is going to be something that we have to deal with for the rest of our lives, and we understand that, and it's tough as hell. But we just keep living for her, because that's what you got to do. I mean, that's really one of the takeaways that we get from this. So we just trying to keep pushing. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you checking out the pod. Real talk. This one of those where, man, I don't know how long this episode gonna be, like for real, cause it's a lot going on. We got a lot to talk about, and I didn't pod last week. Christmas shopping, gift wrapping, chasing kids, trying to get the Christmas break. Hey, shout out to all the teachers out there on Christmas break. Man, this is like the second most wonderful time of the year. Um, Spring break is third. It is definitely third because you only get like 5 or 6 days. I say only. I know y'all people working a regular 9 to 5. I'm not trying to throw shots. Not trying to diss or disrespect, but it's a lot to go into this teaching thing. So when we get those extended days where we don't have to knock on somebody else's door to get them to like watch the class, so we can use the bathroom real quick, and we don't have to rush through the finish our lunch in 5-10 minutes so we can pick up the kids, like all that crazy stuff that go with teaching, you feel me? So we embrace these times. Third would be spring break, especially when spring break falls during March Madness, when you can watch stuff guilt free and you don't have to like make up excuses to watch stuff within class. Like it'd be wild, man. Second is Christmas break. This right here. 2 straight weeks of just unadulterated nothingness. I had the kids in class like, hey, Mr. P, you was signing us stuff over the break? I'm like, looky here. I wish I would assign you work over the break. I'm doing nothing over Christmas break. I'm going to forget your names over Christmas break. You feel me? We're going to have a tutorial when we come back. Like, okay, yeah, let me look at my seating chart because I forgot your name. Like, I really go hard Christmas break. Hard doing nothing. I'm watching a whole lot of Tubi. I'm watching as many bad movies as I can. And I've seen 3 or 4 already. We going to get into that a little bit later. My goodness. The stuff they let on, you know what? ALP, slow down. Slow down because you are already getting amped up. Shout out to all my teachers out there on Christmas break, living their best life. Keep living it up. Sleep in as long as you possibly can. Hey, it's our time. It's our time to shine. But, and like I said, I got a lot to talk about. It's going to sound like I'm rambling a little bit. It's a little bit of a flow to it. We're going to sneak the sports in. But I had kind of like I'm a real live adult that's a little bit hypocritical moment. Let me set the scene for you. So my kid, she's like a huge Sabrina Carpenter fan. I I don't know. If you're a Sabrina Carpenter fan, let me put your mind at ease. I'm not here to diss or disrespect you either. When I was first listening to the music, because my kid, she's like really into Sabrina Carpenter. Like is real. She's not playing games. So I pick her up from school every day, and she's like, "Okay, all right, pass the phone, Dad, pass the phone." I'm like, "Why?" "I gotta listen to Sabrina." I'm like, "Dude, are you serious?" But you know how you listen to something after a while and like it get catchy. I find myself singing lyrics to Espresso, and I want to smack myself. Like, dude, this what you doing right now? So she has us watching a Sabrina Carpenter Christmas spectacular. And we see like the first 3 or 4 minutes, and we like, yeah, we should probably cut this off. You really shouldn't be watching this, kid. And she's like, no, no, I like the songs. Like some of the, I don't say any other cuss words. And it just kind of hit me like, dang, when I was her age, goodness gracious, sweet Jesus. Look, full disclosure. And I know she's going to run across the pod at some point and be like, Daddy, you really told them that? Because I told her this. When I was her age, I got the brakes beat off of me, y'all. Like, the brakes beat off of me. Because I'm in the sixth, seventh grade and I'm listening to my tape. Yep, I said it, tape. Hey, I got it in my Walkman. Yep, I said it, Walkman. I'm just saying. And I'm listening to it, come home, sit it on the counter, so I go use the bathroom, whatever. My mama come in and she sees the cassette, like the liner notes, and she sees the front cover. Y'all, I'm listening to AMG, Bitch Better Have My Money. Yeah, that's what I'm listening to. The front cover is him with some girls and they in thongs and the whole 9 yards. And she like, boy, what you listening to? And I'm like, I just like the beats. I like the beats. I don't really be cussing. I took that L. I was still listening to the music because like that was my thing. I like that stuff. Like I told you, I came up listening to rap. I don't know how I'm married because I listened to so much Too Short when I was a kid. Like I knew every song. I knew every producer that Too Short used. What's my favorite word? You already know. Like I was riding with him since Born to Mac. I was born with him, rolling with him since Dolphin Beat. Like all of that. But it was highly graphic music. And I'm looking at what she listened to, and I'm like, this is tame if I'm going based on what I'm listening to. Like, I'll put some of this stuff on Twitter, man. Like, you'll be looking like you was listening to that. Yeah, man, all of that. But I turned out to be a pretty serviceable human being because I feel like it's really not about what they're saying. It's more about what you decide to take from it. You feel me? And some people can really go hard and they be like, yeah, yeah, she said this, and yeah, I agree, and this, that, and the third. But then, like, the more logical people, which is most of the people that listen to music, they listen to it and go like, I like that. I'm not about to do that, but yeah, nice beat. That's what most logical people do. And my daughter, she's pretty mature to be her age, and like she was saying that stuff. She was like I don't say that stuff, but I like the beat, and sometimes it's like, it's me, it's so I'm like, dude. And I just got like that full circle moment, like, dang, I was really out here on some dumb stuff. Like, where was my mama? And then I remember she was the one that whooped me when she heard me listening to that. She was definitely there. You can't watch the kids 24/7, and I understand that. And it's more like, what do you like give them to kind of bring them out to this world? And I feel like we're doing a pretty good job. I just got like that full circle moment when I'm watching it. I'm like, wow, they're really saying that, and then I'm like, yeah, it could be way worse. I mean, way worse. I mean, I don't know, y'all. This parents and stuff, like you get the highest of the highs, you get the lowest of the lows. There's a lot of in between. Like it's it's tough, but it's a job I definitely wouldn't trade for the world. So shout out to all the parents out there. Y'all little kids, hey, watch what you listening to though, for real. Some of these people try to steer you wrong. So listen to your parents. They know what they're talking about. You feel me? Hey, We're gonna do a bingo breakdown and like we're gonna make this 6 minutes or less. Last time it was 5 minutes or less because they had absolutely no hope of making the playoffs. Now they got like a little sliver of hope because they beat the brakes off of Cleveland, after they beat the brakes off of Tennessee, after they snuck in a victory over Dallas. And you know, you want to be happy because they won 3 games in a row. Yippee ki yay! Woo! 3 in a row. But I mean, you got to take into account who they beating the brakes off of. Dallas, barely. Tennessee, shouldn't have been that close. Cleveland, we did our thing. It was one of those where they really put it together. It was still some iffy moments. And I found myself like stuck. I want to root for them. I want them to make the playoffs. I really do. But on the other hand, it's like, do I really want them to make the playoffs? Do I want to see them get stomped out by Buffalo in the first round? Like, do I really need that? Do I really need to see that? And the competitive spirit in all of us, you want to see your squad make it to the playoffs. But is it one of those things that would be counterproductive? Do you really want to make the playoffs just to get scraped up with a terrible defense? And then it's like, oh, we got the same thing Cleveland got. 0 playoff wins this year. Yay. Woo. And now we got an even worse draft pick. Ow. So it's like I don't know. But then the game come on and I want them to win. Like, who really, I mean, I know you want your team to get the best draft pick and all that, but are you really watching for your team to lose? Are you really rooting hard for your team to take a L ever? And it works out. It worked out. We got Joe Burrow, so I mean, it works out. But these are grown men playing for their jobs. You really think they're trying to lose on purpose so they can get some other talent in here to come in and take their jobs? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, no, who would do that? So they're going to play their hardest. And if it works out, they make the playoffs. That's how it goes. So that's kind of what I'm riding with. I see the Bengals beating Denver. It's going to be tough to beat the Steelers. The Steelers have something to play for. And even if they don't like us. They would love to beat the brakes off of us so we can't make the playoffs. I'm sure they would. So, root for the Steelers to beat the Chiefs. That way the Chiefs have something to play for when they play Denver. We are going to see what the Bengals are about this year. The Bengals are 0-7 in games that are like a score or 7 points or less. 0-7. At some point, this gotta turn around. They gotta win a one-score game. It's frustrating to watch your team lose so many different ways. So, my prediction: Bengals 24, Denver 19. That's what I'm thinking. I don't want to talk about next week. Let's finish this week first. Let's get this week out of the way. Let's see what happens. Boom. Go Bengals. Really, what's been on my mind more than the Bengals are the Buckeyes. Last time we talked, I sat here and I told y'all, the next time the Buckeyes play, they're coming out for blood. I told y'all this. I'm like, look, the Buckeyes are not playing games. They're not. When you lose like that to a team you're supposed to beat, a team that you just don't like, and you don't look like yourself, you switch everything up. Well, I won't say switch everything up, but it reminds you, like, look, we need to play with what brought us here. Look, I won a lot of games as a coach. Coaches will tell you, players will tell you, you remember the ones you lose way more than the ones you win. And I'm still punching myself in the chest. When we played in the regional semifinal game, like a state regional semi game, and we up 1, fourth quarter, it's like 3 minutes left. We pressed all year. We pressed the mess out of people all year long, y'all. Like, I'm talking 2-2-1 press, 1-2-2 press, straight man press. I was running 4 different presses at one point. I'm like, you got to be smart to play on this team because, like, you can't be no dummy. We're running a whole lot of stuff. The team we were playing against, they did not make a single 3-point shot. They didn't. But my dumb behind kept pressing them instead of going into a zone and making them shoot. I kick myself to this day because I'm like, all I had to do was look at what was going on, switch it up, boom, we out of there. Instead, we lose by 4. And I told the kids after the game, like, look, this is on me. It is. This is my fault. I put y'all in a position where you couldn't succeed. It's on me. And they're like, nah, Coach P, nah. It's what we've been doing. We've been pressing all year. We're supposed to have that. I'm like, nah, check it out. It's my job as a coach to put you in the spot where you can succeed. I did not do that. I let us down. I'm like, when y'all let me down, when y'all do stuff you ain't supposed to do, I tell y'all about it. We fix it as a squad. I gotta fix that. But it's one of those things where after I fixed it and we did our thing, it was like I let an opportunity slide by. And I still kick myself about that to this day. Like I still go like, dang, LP, what was you doing? What was you thinking? That's one of your best teams and you let them down. I feel like that's what Ryan Day felt like. I feel like that's what Chip Kelly felt like. They were like, look, we have the two best wide receivers, arguably, in NCAA football. But instead, we're just slamming the ball right in the middle of the field. When all we had to do was spread them out, bink, 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 and then run the ball. I'm sure they had sessions where they was like, look, we messed up. We effed up. We really did. We are not going to do that again. That's what they played like against Tennessee. They played like a team where the coaches said, you know what, we want balls to the wall. And if we lose, we are going to lose playing the game that we need to play. That's what I said on the pod last time, y'all. I'm like, look, if Ohio State loses again, they have to lose as themselves. I feel like they need to have that same mentality when they play Oregon. Because truth be told, quiet as kept, when they played Oregon, Oregon played balls to the wall. Like, look, man, they doing fake field goals. They doing these whack onside kicks where they try to kick the ball and hit somebody real fast so they can pick it back up. Now, part of me wants to say they're doing this because they felt like they weren't on the same level as the Buckeyes. But another part of me is going like, they felt comfortable taking risk. They're like, we're going to have some fun. We're going to try to win this game, but we're going to win it our way. Ohio State did that against Tennessee. They were like, look, if we lose, we're going to look like the Buckeyes. You got to beat us doing our thing. That's how they have to play against Oregon. They have to go like, look, if we lose, Jeremiah Smith touching the ball at least 10 times. We running all types of sweeps and we running all types of play action pass and we running options of Will Howard. We have to do our absolute thing. And if you beat us, it's going to be because you beat us. It's not going to be because, dang, I should have did this and I should have did that. Now, I did everything I needed to do. I was just better. If they can look themselves in the eye after that, I don't think anybody will have a problem with Ryan Day next year. Because you can't. If somebody gives their absolute best and they lose, how you going to be mad at them? I tell my kids in class this. I tell my daughters this all the time. If you're doing your absolute best and it don't work out, how can I be mad at you? Like, it don't make sense. Now, if you slacking, if you lazy, if I can tell you're not doing your best, then we got a problem. Because if you don't put your best foot forward, how do I know who's better? How do I know if you're good enough to do this? So, Buckeye Nation, support the squad because I feel like Ryan Day, when he's peak Ryan Day, like I put on Twitter, when he's pissed off Ryan Day, P-O-R-D, when he's P-O-R-D, there's not a better coach in the nation, y'all. But when he coach scared, that's what happens. And real talk, Jim Harbaugh started 0-5 against Ohio State because he coached the exact same damn way, y'all. I'm not joking. You could see him on the sidelines like in 2018 and 2019 looking extra shook, doing stuff he never did in games before he played Ohio State. looking like he didn't want to lose. The last three times he played the Buckeyes, he looked like, look, man, I don't care. I'm doing pitches back to the quarterback from the running back. We running reverses. I don't care. And if they beat us, we tried our absolute best. That's the attitude he had. And guess what? They beat us. Sharon Moore has the same attitude. They shouldn't have beat us. They should not have beat us. However, they did because they took advantage of some weaknesses that we had. I don't see Oregon beating the team that came out against Tennessee. Nobody's beating the team that came out against Tennessee. Y'all can wrap it up. There is no team better than the Ohio State Buckeyes if they look the way that they looked against Tennessee. It's over with. Just go home. However, that same squad came out against Michigan and looked absolutely bad. And that's the reason why they're not giving us our full props, y'all. That's the reason why they're looking at us like, hey, they could take the L. For me personally, and I might be the only person saying this ain't going to be close. Will Howard is pissed. Ryan Day is pissed. I said Ryan Howard. We said the Philadelphia Philly or something. Ryan Day is pissed. Chip Kelly is pissed. Jim Knowles is pissed. Buckeyes 31, Oregon 17. I feel like it's going to be one of those games. I feel like Ohio State's going to jump out to a big lead. It's going to be some touchy spots in the third quarter. And then Ohio State going to go ahead and dominate in the fourth quarter. 31-17. Go Buckeyes, let's get it. I mean, that's what I see. If you agree, if you disagree, hit me up. Let me know how you feel about it. We got Christmas coming up. Like I said, it's Christmas Eve. And by the time I upload this and all of that stuff and put this out there, it'll probably be Christmas Eve. I had the kids in class asking me, hey, Mr. P, what was your best Christmas present? Because honestly, they just want me to tell stories because they think I'm going to tell stories and get totally sidetracked and forget to teach the class. They really think I'm going to do that. And I keep telling them, like, look, check it out. You're dealing with a master. We used to do this with one of our teachers, like story before the story, y'all. We had a teacher whose son played for UC. This was back when UC was like UC, ranked number one. You know, they had Kenyon Martin. They had the helicopter Melvin Levitt dunking on people. He played on those teams. Now, he didn't get a lot of run. You know, he was like, 7th, 8th, 9th guy off the bench, but he was on the squad. And in Cincinnati, if you was on the squad back then, late 90s, any time in the 90s, if you was on the squad back then, you was royalty out here. You could punch a horse and get away with it. Yes, a UC player actually did that. Go look it up. It's absolutely hilarious. So, we be in Latin class. Shout out to all my Walnut Hills folks out there. Serve some ass some out here. We be in Latin class, and we talk to our teacher and be like, hey, how's your son doing? And we just kick back and relax because we knew we was about to get, like, probably the whole class off because she loved her kid, and her kid was hooping for UC. So she would just start talking, and we'd be like, yes. You couldn't do it every time. You had to pick your spots. Like, you couldn't just do this every single day. She was smart enough to figure that out. However, once, like, every other week, we could pull that off. And I always think about that whenever the kids go like, hey, Mr. P, so what do you think about this? And I'll talk to him real quick. Then I'm like, let's get back to it. Then he'll be like, oh, man. I'm like, you dealing with a pro here. So the kids asked me this question. I'm like, you know what? I really want to tell y'all what my favorite Christmas present was. I really do. But I'm like, you know what? You're going to get this story in exactly 3 minutes. I'm thinking this in my head. You're going to get this in 3 minutes. Then we back to learning. And y'all going to be salty. And that's pretty much what happened. But you guys get a little bit more time. You're not in my class. So My favorite Christmas present, the best one I probably ever got. And it's funny because we only got one Christmas present that year. Now, I gotta set the scene. All right. And when I say one Christmas present, I mean we all got the same Christmas present. Like for real, we did. It wasn't a hug. It wasn't like a high five or nothing like that. It was actually something tangible. So my mother is a twin. Yeah, they're identical twins. Crazy. And they decided they wanted to live together. She had three kids, my mama, and my aunt had three kids. So there were six of us, and we all pretty much lived together. So people always ask me how many brothers and sisters I have, and I always say this. I say I have one brother and one sister, but really I have four brothers and one sister because we were all together all of the time. We grew up together to the point where I feel like they're my brothers. We did all the regular brother stuff. We fought each other. We talked about each other. And then we got mad when other people talked about them. And like it was a whole thing. You couldn't really mess with the Parkers. Like so we talked the whole year. I was probably in like the seventh, maybe eighth grade. Maybe a little bit younger. We talked the entire year. We want a Sega Genesis. We want a Sega Genesis. That was like the mantra. Sega, Sega, Sega. Now, to the crowd, my younger folks, you got to understand. Like, you had the Super Nintendo and you had the Sega Genesis. You needed at least one. But Sega Genesis had like some of the best games, especially with Street Fighter and all that stuff. It was like absolutely awesome. Came out on Super Nintendo. Later, Sega Genesis had it first. We wanted Street Fighter. We wanted all those games that came with Sega Genesis. And we're like, dang, which one of us could get it? We'll just all talk about it and see who gets it. But it was so expensive back then. Like, it was really expensive to get something like that. So Christmas rolls around. We look under the tree and there's six of us. And yes, my sister wanted it too. So there's six of us and we're thinking it's about to be a mountain of gifts, Woo! We look and there's like maybe 7 or 8 gifts under the tree. And we like, what? Did somebody rob us? Did Santa come to the ghetto and like not drop stuff off of us? Like Santa lacking, that's crazy. So we get there and we like, damn, we already feel like we down bad. We like, is breakfast ready? Like, and they're like, open it up, open it up. And before we opened it up, they're both like, this our only gift. And we're like, oh shoot, it might be. Rip it open, it's the Sega Genesis. And there's like 8 or 9 games with it. And we had like 2 controllers. And then we had another 2 controllers with a little adapter so 4 people could play at the same time. And they're like, let us be clear. My mother used to cuss a lot. Funny, my fault. Take off the used to. My mother cusses a lot. A lot. The kids in class go like, well, if you call my mama, you got to understand she cuss a lot. I'm like, look, take how much your mother cuss. Triple it. That's how much my mother cuss. Our conversation will be okay. Don't worry about it. And she's like, I'm sorry. This is what she said. Like, again, this is not me talking. This is her. This is what she says. You motherfuckers better understand it. I don't have no more motherfucking gifts. And we're like, it's Christmas. Ma, auntie, what you doing? And she's like, look, this is it. No gifts. This is it. This is the only gift you get. And we're like, we're so floored that we got this gift and all of these games to go with it. We're like, hey, you guys did awesome. You guys did great. Hey, gold star. We spent the entire Christmas break. There was like no fights. There was no like loud noises up in our rooms or nothing like that. It was just us on the sticks. 2 straight weeks. I think we slept Maybe, but it was like it's six of us, so like if somebody goes to sleep, then you get more time on the game. So it's like we barely slept. We ate dinner in front of the TV every day. Like we're doing the countdown for New Year's. We got our hats on and stuff. We on the sticks. We playing the game. The best Christmas present ever, because it was one of those things where it was like you simply appreciated that your parents saw a need and filled that need. It didn't matter that it was only one thing, because truth be told, we got a lot of like games, but there was only one Christmas present. It was just the Sega Genesis. But it was one of those things where you just really appreciated that. That's all we wanted. That was it. We made it very clear. That's it. We don't care about nothing else. Well, what about this? What about not this year, champ? And we all went to school and we were like, yeah. Everybody's like, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. And we were like, yeah, we got to Sega Genesis. Conversation stop in the hallway. What? Yep. What else you get? We didn't even lie. We used to tell each other like when we got home, like, what else you say you got? Nothing. I said I got a Sega Genesis. Party starter. Like, hey, it was a great childhood. And that was one of the great things about it, because there was just so many of us in the house, and we all got to kind of lean on each other, and we went through some rough times. Like we really did. I feel like those times kind of built me up for the stuff I go through today, because it wasn't easy, but we had each other. So it never felt like that we didn't have anything. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't convince me that I was poor. Like you couldn't convince me that like we were broke, because everybody else around us was broke too. So it was like everybody else has the same thing. Like our whole street, we all knew each other and we all went through the same struggle. So it was like we all down bad. And if we all down bad, it's like, is anybody really super down bad? Like we all had each other. So I feel like that's what makes me a good teacher. The fact that I think that makes me a good coach and a good parent too. More than anything, I can kind of channel that stuff that I like had in childhood, and I can understand that the bad stuff helped me understand how good the good stuff could be. And I didn't really take anything for granted. And I don't think my brothers or my sister did either. Like, we don't really take anything for granted. Like, we have this life and we're here and we appreciate it. And we appreciate all the little things that go with it, because without the little stuff, you don't really appreciate the big stuff. And it's one of those cool things you get with just coming up the way we did and in the age we did. Um, I feel like it could be like that for kids this age, but it's just so hard to be not really innocent, but it's really hard to not feel like you know everything. You know what I mean? Because it feels like kids these days kind of feel like they know everything because they have so much access to everything. I mean, they're not trying to be jerks. They're not trying to be like, hey, yeah, I know this. But when you have the whole world at your fingertips and you can just Google it and get answers, it kind of makes the world feel a whole lot smaller. And it makes everything feel so much more accessible. And when I was growing up, it was like a whole world out there that I wanted to touch, but I just quite couldn't. You know what I mean? Did I get too deep? Damn, I don't know. But either way, I got a couple more presents to wrap. Got to make these awesome memories for the kids, and I'm real amped up about January 1. I really want to see what the Buckeyes do. Like I said, I just want to see them play well. I just don't want to be disappointed that they left stuff out there on the table. If they lose 34-32, if they lose the same way they lost against Oregon the first time, but instead of Will Howard like sliding and doing something he didn't want to do, if he throws the ball into the end zone and they just don't get it done, I would be happy with that. I want them to win, but I just want to see them play well, you know? And before I roll out, these are kids, y'all. Like, we're watching kids play. I know they seem super big because they extra buff with braces and all that stuff, but like, easy on these children, man. Like, they playing a game. Chill. No death threats. No cursing. No yelling at the fans. Like, chill. Let them just play the game. Before I roll out, leave the All Star game alone, NBA. Next week, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Stop messing with the All Star game. Leave it alone. It's just a game. It's just an All Star game. It's not supposed to be important. We're going to talk about that next week. We also going to, I don't know about do like a preview for the game, the Ohio State Oregon game. I don't know if I want to go that deep, but we're going to talk about the two things Ohio State needs to do in order to win. I think they only need to do two. We talked about one. We're going to talk about the other one next week. Christmas party coming up. One of my brother's specials, when my brother throws a special shindig, there's usually a report. So I'm going to give you the report of what comes up for my brother's Christmas party, because usually it's what they say, a humdinger. Usually something will happen that will be absolutely hilarious that I gotta talk about. So we gonna jump into all that. Um, it's always a pleasure rocking with y'all, man. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support, all the positive well wishes, and everybody checking in on me and the fam. Um, Starting to get some of the negative things coming through, which tells me, one, I can fix some stuff, and two, once you got people hating on you for no reason, you're usually doing well. But I would say 95% of the information I get is stuff I can work on to like make my pod better. And as always, 5% is people just randomly hating. I don't know why, but it be like that sometimes. I appreciate all y'all. So you're gonna go ahead and roll out. Let me know what you thought about the pod. Let me know if you loved it. Let me know if you absolutely hated it. All feedback is good feedback, unless you're just a hater. Um, hey, ride me out with the music, and we're gonna go ahead and roll out. Hey, and as always, a Cincy fan talking with LP. A Cincy fan talking with LP. This is yours truly, LP. And as always, life is good, y'all. Peace out.